Welcome to the guided practice session today. Today, I'm really excited to do something a little bit different. This is something that I've personally been working on in my own practice routine pretty much the whole pandemic. It's a very simple concept, like all really great things, that is almost endless in how complex it could get. And so I think this is going to be really attractive to some of our more advanced players that join us here on Fridays. And for me, this has opened up a world of possibilities. Like I said, I've been working on this for months, and it's still kind of slowly working its way into my playing. So it's a very simple concept. We kind of have an interesting title here: instant reharm with the root 5 swap. So what does that mean? Well, I'm gonna break it down what that means. So we have this thing here at Open Studio that Peter Martin and I kind of dubbed root shell pretty, right? It's a voicing structure from the bottom up where you have the root of a chord. Let's say we have an F minor chord, right? We have the root, the F, and then we have the shell or the third and the seventh or the seventh and third. So we can have F, E flat, A flat, and that's all in the left hand. And then we add some pretty notes in the right. Now I'll bring up the keyboard and everything. I just want you to hear this though. Root, shell, seventh and third, E flat, A flat, and then some pretty notes. We have the 13. Look at the 9, you know? It's a very simple structure, but it's kind of a game-changing structure. Like if you don't know that structure already, that's really going to help you. Now, the root 5 swap is a really interesting concept that I've been working on in my own solo piano playing, where you can swap out at any time on any inversion the root for the 5. So if we have F minor here in our left hand, that root will become a C. That F becomes a C. So now we have C, E flat, and A flat, which is just like an A flat major triad, or is it? So this gets really deep, right? That's the general basic idea, but it goes so deep. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll show you the first example here. So here's the very first structure. This is just what I was talking about. Right, so I have our F minor 7 here. We have a 2-5-1 to E flat. We're going to use a 2-5-1 because we get to cover minor 7 chords, dominant 7 chords, and major 7 chords, or major 6-9 chords here, which is what I have. So we have our root, right? Root, and then the shell, the 7th and the 3rd, root, E flat, A flat. And then we have our B flat 7, right? We have our root, B flat, 3rd and 7th. Nothing wrong here, nothing out of the ordinary here. And then we have our E flat, C, and G, right? This is like an E flat 6 chord. If we put some more upper structure stuff in our right hand here, which we'll get to, by the way, then it could fill it out. But just for the basic chord, right? This is what's so cool about root shell pretty, is all of the major things that are happening in the chord happen in the left hand. So anything pretty you want to put in, including the melody and the little things you want to do under that, you can put in your right hand. It forms a nice foundation. It's definitely a great jumping off point too, because it can get more complex even amongst that. So here in our structure 1, just all rooted, right? And you've heard this a billion times. This is like a very common thing in jazz piano. Great voice leading is easy as it gets. Now, what I've discovered by listening to a lot of people like Bill Evans and Chick Corea and Keith Jarrett is that oftentimes, you don't need that root in the chord. What if I told you that the F minor 7 didn't have to have F on the bottom, and it didn't have to be marked in the chart or part of the chord changes? This can be done, especially in solo piano context, but even not. This can be done whenever you feel like doing this. So check this out. F minor 7 with the 5 instead of the root. So we have that C there instead of F. So here's with F, and here's with C. And then check this out. B flat 7 instead of the B flat, the root, we swap it out for the 5. This is the root 5 swap. That's where that comes from, right? And then here's E flat major 6-9 with the root, but here's with the 5. How beautiful is that? Listen to these 3 together. Now, what can you use these for? What are these good for? These are great, like so good for playing melodies with your bass line, for having a bass line that's more interesting than sometimes just 2-5-1, or it just gives you freedom to do whatever you want with that lowest note, which is really standing out. So if you want to do something like this, like if you want to keep it there, you can. Or what about something like this? to get there. This is what I'm talking about. Isn't that great? It's so beautiful. It makes for these pedal points. It makes for these little melodic things that can happen with the bass line. Now, this is our first structure. I have 4 structures lined up because it gets really, really deep. And that's what I want to do today. We're going to go deep today. Sometimes we go shallow and we never go shallow, but sometimes, we just like to lightly practice one little thing. We're going to get super nerdy today. I'm going to go my full nerd. You're going to see me at my full nerdiness in how I practice this stuff in my own sessions, how I like to break it down. And it's going to get thick, right? So first of all, there's going to be a lot of tenths you're going to see. Just note that the way I'm using these, and like I said, I'm still digesting these and learning where I want to put these in my playing, but a lot of these can be rolled. In fact, these aren't going to work as like big voicings that you'll play with your trio, but they do work great for like intros. So even if you have big tenths here, just know that you can roll these chords, put a little sustain pedal on there. You don't have to hit these huge chords. Now, I can hit a lot of these, so you might hear me hitting a lot of these, and a lot of you I know can hit a lot of these too. So if you can reach it, do it. But don't feel like you have to. These are great roll. And in fact, at the end, I'm going to show you my little arrangement that I did of I Fall in Love Too Easily, where we can kind of play it out of time and see how these work. They work so, so beautifully in this context. So let's check out our first etude. We're going to take this structure number 1 here, and we're going to see how deep we can do it. So we can basically swap out that 5 for the root at any point during the 2-5-1. And I'll just go through each one of these, and then we'll play them together. So check it out. Number 1. We swap out the root on the very first chord. So instead of F minor 7, that F in the bass, we have C in the bass. Now this first one alone, listen to the bass. Right, so we're going from this sound, and now our bass has this. That is a gorgeous movement. And it's the same chord. If we are soloing over this, you can do bebop language, whatever you want to do, it still works. Just gorgeous. So that's number 1. Number 2, we swap out the 5 in the second chord. So that F stays the same. Instead of B flat, it just stays on F. Again, giving us tons of options. Number 3, we do it on the third chord, on the E flat. So check it out. We get to the B flat, it just stays there. Again, tons of options wherever you are. You don't have to go to just the root of the chord. And notice that I'm not changing any of the chord symbols here. I really want to be able to react to whatever chord I have. So if I have a 2-5-1 and E flat, I can go to thick chords here with the B flat on the bottom without having to think about it or think about the chord symbol. Number 4, we swap out the first 2. Isn't that great? Both those first 2 chords have the 5 on the bottom. It creates, by the way, like a 2-5 movement, right? C to F, but to E flat in the bass. It's just gorgeous. Woo. Number 5, we do the second 2. So we start with F, right? We start with the root, and then the B flat 7 on number 5 is that 5 swap, the root 5 swap. That's what we're calling it. And then the same thing on the E flat again, creating a bit of melody. Then number 6, we swap out the outside 2. Gorgeous. Number 7, everything is swapped, which is it lands on the 5. It's kind of a longing tone. And then number 8, everything is root. So we'll end kind of where we begin, where we resolve nice and steady, and everything is rock solid. See, it's these kinds of options. That's what I want to give myself when I play these tunes. So again, all these tenths, they may seem scary. You can roll all of them. I do all the time. You don't have to be able to hit tenths to be able to do this. Let's try it. We're going to do ballad tempos. We're going to keep this ballad. This works really, really well in ballads. It works really, really well in rubato, playing intros and things like that. Anything where you want to kind of, there's no bass player, and you really want to kind of have a nice melodic bass line, maybe having like stepwise down or stepwise up or some kind of pattern, this technique of the root 5 swap can work really, really well. So let's do a nice ballad tempo, 64 beats per minute. And let's play all of these all the way down, 1 through 8. And again, you can roll some of these. You'll hear me roll some of these just to make it easier. Play with me now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And number 1. Number 2. Gorgeous. Number 3. I love this one. Crunchy. Number 4. Number 5. Listen to this. Gorgeous. Number 6. Number 7, everything is swapped. The roots are swapped for the 5s, giving us a whole new bass line. And number 8, everything is the root. So pretty. Let's do this one more time. 3 and 4. And number 1. So pretty. You can solo a little bit on the top of this too. Sounds great. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Everything swapped. Again, the root 5 swap just opens up everything for us. Number 8, everything root. How cool is that? How cool is the root 5 swap? It's like so obvious. It was right in front of your nose the whole time. It was right in front of my nose for like 20 years. I never saw it. I mean, I saw some of it, but it feels so good to kind of take it through all of these different changes. And this is just one key. We're going to hit a whole tune. I have a whole little arrangement for you at the end. Hey, if you like this, though, I do have a PDF. You can check it out. Ian's going to put a link to the PDF for the whole thing in the link. It's yours, our gift to you. It's also in the description here after the fact. You can check out the PDF. And if this is the kind of content you want to see, these kind of like really super nerdy deep dives on the harmony, hit the like button. If you like the channel in general, you might hit the subscribe. We're always down for a little subscribe. Know what I'm saying? There's the PDF there. Ian just put it in the chat. It's also in the description. Let's check out the second structure because we started here with the big open F minor 7. What if we started with the closed F minor 7 here instead of root 7, 3 in this big open voicing? How about up here, right? Root 3, 7 in this closed voicing. We have all of these options too. So here's root 3, 7 with our F minor, then our B flat 7, right? And this is classic voice leading here. There's our E flat major 6, 9. So we have our F minor 7, root 3, 7, our B flat 7, big spread there, root 7, 3, and then our E flat major 6, 9. The cool thing about swapping these is just like when you have them with the root, you can alternate between big spread voicings and closed voicings, as you see here on both of these examples. Now, check this out. We can swap the roots on these as well, and these are absolutely gorgeous. That's our F minor 7 with the 5 swapped for the root. There's our B flat 7 with the 5 swapped for the root. So instead of B flat 7 right here, we have this 5. Now, these are actually great when you kind of understand all these. If you don't have big enough hands to hit tenths, these are really helpful because then you can, like for this, here, you can stay close, right? So if you have these in your fingers, you can really avoid tenths but still have these really great sounding chords by doing that root 5 swap. Then our E flat major 6, 9 chord, check this out. Isn't that great? So here's with all the roots. And I'm adding some pretty notes there on my left hand. Here's with all the roots swapped. It's so gorgeous. So let's check out our etude for this. Now for this, I added some pretty notes in the right hand, which you can do at any point with any of these etudes. I'll show you what I added here in the, it's the same throughout. So it's just on the F minor 7, I added the 9 and the 11, right? G and B flat. For the B flat 7, I added the 13, just another G, and the flat 9, that C flat, B natural. And then for the E flat major 6-9, I added the 9 and the 5. And we can keep these going the whole way. So check out number 1 here. Again, this is the same structure as before. We swapped the root for the 5 on the very first chord, and everything else is rooted. Listen to this. And again, we get that nice, just a different bass line. Still an F minor 7. Gorgeous. And then what if we swapped the 5 for the root on the second chord, on the B flat 7, on the 5? Again, everything's staying nice and close when you do that, right? So beautiful. What if we swapped it out on just the third chord, on the 1? We can kind of hang out on this B flat now. So pretty. What if we swapped out the first 2 chords, the 2 and the 5? Swap the root for the 5. It's like a different 2-5 bass movement. It's like a fake out. Number 5, the last 2. You know, if you were to do like a turnaround, a false cadence or something at the end of the tune, that's perfect. Number 6, the first and the last, the 2 and the 1. I love that 1 chord with that 5 in there. Number 7, everything. Number 8, nothing. Everything is rooted. Okay, let's try it. Let's keep this ballad tempo. Play with me now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, if some of these tenths are a lot, not too much of a stretch, you can roll everything. Number 2. You can roll it between your hands like this. Sounds awesome. Number 3. Again, just swapping out the root for the 5, number 6. Number 7, everything. Number 8, everything rooted. Doesn't that last one, where we play just the 2-5 with everything in the root, it has a new gravity, doesn't it? It's like when you take away that option every single time, it kind of means more. It hits a little harder. Let's do this one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you might roll it like me, or you might play everything. How about number 2 and 4? And number 6. Number 7, everything is swapped. Number 8, everything is rooted. Beautiful. How beautiful is that? So that's our 2 basic sort of rooted structures. Isn't that great? I just think it's so gorgeous. Check this out, though. We can go a little bit deeper. I told you we were going into the weeds today, and I meant it when I said we were going into the weeds, because we can start not just here with our F minor starting on an F, either a high F or a low F. We can start it on the 3rd of F and do Again, our root and shell structure, but a different inversion. So I have third, seventh, and then root on top. This is where my mind got blown when I was kind of working these through. So here's our, again, third, seventh, and root of F minor 7. Check out our seventh, third, and root of B flat. F minor 7, B flat 7 with the 7th on the bottom. Are you kidding me? That's going to lead to the third of E flat. Now, if we're doing an E flat 6, which we have been doing, we would do G, E flat, and C up there. But that's not really going to work. It's an 11th of a stretch. That's too much for me. So something that I kind of sub out here is just putting this little cluster. Instead of the 6, I'll put the 9 there on the bottom. So that first sort of, we'll call it the rooted 2-5, where we have the roots of it in. Right? 3, 7, root of F minor 7 to 7, 3, root of B flat 7 to 3, root 9 of E flat. So pretty. Now, just like the other structures, though, we can do the root 5 swap, right? We can swap that root for the 5 at any time. So check it out. For our F minor 7, instead of 3, 7, root, we can do 3, 7, 5. Right? Again, that's kind of an A flat major triad. But it is related to F minor 7. And then check it out. Our B flat 7, 7, 3, 5. And our E flat, we're going to do that 5 on the top. So we still have the root in there. We could do the 9. But I love this sound. Check out the top note. Listen to the melody of this voicing. In relation to that bottom note, are you kidding me? That's so beautiful. Yeah, I love this one, starting on the third note there. Again, these are just F minor 7s. And it's a bit shoegazy, but it is really, really lovely. Let's check out the etude that we have here. Check my camera. Check it out here. So this etude is going to do the exact same thing, right? Where we swap one at a time. So we'll swap that first one. Instead of 3, 7, root, we can do 3, 7, 5. But then everything else has the root in it. And this is where you get some beautiful melodic things happening. Listen to that top note here. How pretty. And you could, like we did with other sets, you could put voicings with these. Pretty notes on top. And you'll see that when we get to the end. I have a whole an arrangement of I Fall in Love Too Easily here, where it kind of shows you how you can play the melody, and then these, it's just, whew, it's so sweet. So number 2, we swap out the 5 chord, the root for the 5. Again, some great voice leading there, just keeping it nice and simple. Gorgeous. Number 3, we swap out the 5 for the root on the last chord, on the 1 chord. Again, just giving us melodic options. We have all of these options now. Number 4, we swap out the first 2. Number 5, we swap out the last 2. Gorgeous. Number 6, we swap out the first and the last. Listen to that. There's a little 6th thing that happens on the 2 to the 5. Again, this just gives us so many opportunities for great voice leading here within these very simple structures. Number 7, everything is swapped. There's that beautiful melody. And number 8, nothing is swapped, so the root is part of everything. Yeah. It is very churchy, you know. Let's try it here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, if you have to roll like me, number 2. B flat, we swap out the root for the 5. Number 3. Number 4. First 2 are swapped. Beautiful. Number 5. first and the last. See this nice little melody walking down. So pretty. Number 7, everything is swapped. Number 8, nothing is. It's all rooted. Quote unquote rooted, right? Let's do it again. 2, 3, and 4. And you might practice soloing here. Number 6. That beautiful 6th motion. Number 7, everything. And number 8, everything is rooted. How awesome. I told you we're going thick into the weeds here. I do have this PDF. Ian's going to put it in the chat again. It's in the description. You can download it and check out everything, including the arrangement of I Fall in Love Too Easily that we'll do at the end. All there in the PDF. All of these etudes, all of the structures are there. Because you're not going to get this in the hour that we're doing this. I've been working on this, like I said, nonstop for months. So go check out that PDF and see for yourself what I'm talking about. Let's check out our last structure. There's really only one great way to do this, and that's starting on that F minor 7 with the 7th. Now, this seems ridiculous, but there's so much beautiful things that can happen here. Check this out. Even just the rooted stuff, right? So our F minor 7 is 7, 3, root, and then 3, 7, root, and then just a basic rooted E flat 6 chord. Now, what if we swapped out all of the roots in these for the 5s, right? The root 5 swap. I just coined that, I think. Should be a reality show. The root 5 swap. Listen to that F minor 7. Again, there's an A flat triad, really. B flat, look at that. It's kind of a D diminished, open voicing, and the beautiful E flat 6/9 that we've seen before, actually. The swap. And we have one more etude here for this last structure, structure number 4. Check it out. So again, I'll add these pretty notes back in so we can hear how they go, and we'll do the exact same thing. Number 1, we swap that first chord, we swap the 5 in for the root. Listen to this. Crunchy. Number 2, it's the 2nd chord, so that F stays high there. Told you, this might be the most beautiful one. Number 3, it's the E flat. Listen to that melody that can happen on the bass. Number 4, the first 2. Beautiful. That's Evans-esque. Number 5, the last 2. Number 6, the first and the last. Love that melody there. Number 7, everything is swapped. Gorgeous. Number 8, everything is rooted. Quote unquote rooted, because there's just the root in there instead of the swap. Okay, let's do this one. Ballad tempo. Again, I'm going to be rolling a lot. This gets very ballady, shoegazy. Take your time with this. It gets really, really fun from here. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... Number 2. Crunchy. Number 3. 7, everything is swapped. Number 8, nothing is swapped. All right, let's roll these. Here's where they shine. Ready? 3, 4. Just rolling it the same way each time. 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Everything is swapped. That's an F minor 7. That's an E flat 7 flat 9. And that's an E flat major 6 9. Just nothing looks like it. Okay. How cool is that? Again, check out the PDF. You can download the PDF. We're giving that away for you today. Ian's going to put that in the chat and in the description. You can download that and see the whole thing. And you can see our use of this in action. How do we put it in action? So I have this arrangement of I Fall in Love Too Easily. This is really an etude because I'm really trying to cram this in here. You actually don't have to use this as much as you think you might. You can do this in 1 or 2 places and it really adds an effect. But let's hear how it would sound if we really took it to task. Now note here, again, just like we did with the etudes, I haven't put any of the slash chords in the chord changes themselves because I want you to kind of make your own way through this eventually, this beautiful tune, I Fall in Love Too Easily, and not do that, right? So you can take any set of changes, and as a solo pianist, you can change that bass however you want. Knowing these inversions and knowing this sort of how to swap that root in 5, we have the option of having the root on the bottom, the 3rd on the bottom, the 5 on the bottom, and the 7 on the bottom, right? Those 4 options are available to us on every single chord. We just have to practice and understand how to get them right there. So check this out. Here's I Fall in Love Too Easily, and I'll just kind of go through first. And just gently show you what's going on here. So the first chord, I'll just play it. And then we'll get to it later. These inversions, they just crush. How beautiful. Do that again. Hey, not crushing. all available to us because of this. I mean, give me a break with that. How gorgeous is that? And that's just with my terrible reading through it. It's actually, once you kind of get in the flow of this, it's easier to improvise these than it is to read through them. But let me break this down for you, what's happening here. So we start with the root. And then we immediately go here to one of our inversions with the 7th on the bottom, that B flat. Right? Again, with the root in there. And then our E flat major 7. Right? One of the inversions with the 3rd on the bottom. And the 5. For our first D minor 7 flat 5. Check it out. So just a root position, D minor 7, flat 5. Our G7 has that 3rd on the bottom. Right? Just 3, 7 root. First 4 bars, nothing too crazy, just a few little inversions going on. Second 4 bars, bar number 5, the D minor 7 flat 5. Again, here's our root 5 swap, right? So we have the 5 on the bottom, then the 3rd, then the 7. Going to a rooted position, G7. How great is that? Then you can go. And here, the C minor 6, 9. That's a root 5 swap here. Listen, in the bass there, that's a G, that's the 5. Same thing here with the D7, the 5 in the bass. It gets us this really nice little chromatic thing happening here. Right? D7 over A flat 7, sharp 11, to our G major 7. And then just to kind of surround, we're going to an A minor 7, 5, 5. To surround it, we can use our inversion here with the 3rd on the bottom. Knowing these is so handy. We have a root 5 swap here on the D7. Just a bunch of pretty notes, melody and pretty notes in the right hand. Right, we have our 3rd on the bottom on the G minor 7 flat 5 to the 7th on the bottom. Once you start messing around with these, you're going to see a lot of 2-5 combinations. Check it out. That's C7 flat 13, right? 5 on the bottom, 3rd, 7. Root 5 swap on the D flat 7, sharp 11. 7th on the bottom on the G7. Having either the root 3, 5, or 7 as our option on the bass, it gets us that. All right, let me see if I can play this again. The root on at the end, you know? This kind of setting up expectations, delaying the gratification you can give your listener, and then paying it off with a rooted voicing at the end there. That's what this is all about. Like I said, I'm still working through all of these. This has been kind of my pandemic project, getting all of these voicings in my left hand going so that I can do this great work. It's really, really inspiring, right? I mean, it's dare I say, Jared-esque to be able to have this. So keep doing it. Like I said, this PDF is yours for free, so download the PDF. Give us a like and subscribe if this is the kind of content you want to see here at the Open Studio YouTube channel. Thanks very much, everybody. Great to hang out with you today on Friday. I'll be back on Tuesday. Until next time, happy practicing.